Good afternoon. Today we're going to move on. Up to this point anyway, we've basically been dealing with just numerical values, just numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, raising to an exponent, taking square roots. Now we're going to start introducing variables. And so in doing so, we want to make sure we have two things defined. We want to know the number of terms in an expression and what a coefficient is. So we will be given now sometimes expressions that obviously have a variable or letter in it, like x squared or x, or maybe a y or a z. And we want to be able to say, okay, how many terms are in an expression? Well, the terms are a product of numbers and variables separated by addition or subtraction. So again, a term would be this product of 6x squared. The second term, that's the first term because it's the first one going from left to right. The second term would be this negative 2x, and we include the sign of the negative in it. So the term is actually a negative 2x. The third term is just the negative 9. So there's three terms in this expression. This second expression here, there's also three terms. There's the first term of negative 5x, there's the second term of a positive 3y, and there's a third term of a negative 2z. So again, terms are separated by either minus signs or plus signs. Now when we talk about the coefficient, coefficients are the number in front of the variables in a term. And make sure you include, this includes the plus or minus sign. So if I was to ask you what the coefficient is of this first term in this expression, the coefficient is 6. So the coefficient is 6. The coefficient for the second term is a negative 2. The coefficient for this third term, and it does have a coefficient, even though there's not a variable there, we still say the coefficient is negative 9. And again, this was a 3-term expression. So as we move on to this second one here, again, this is also a 3-term expression. The coefficient of the first term is negative 5. The coefficient of the second term is a positive 3. And the coefficient of the third term is negative 2. Those are the coefficients of the respective terms. And this again was a 3-term expression. Okay, this third expression I have here is a 2-term expression. It's a 2-term expression. Its first coefficient, or the coefficient of the first term, is 17. The coefficient of the second term is negative 9. Those are the two coefficients. This last expression here has a lot of terms. Again, I'm looking for plus and minus signs. So I have 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, 5 terms, 6 terms. I could actually even put on above. There's my first term, my second term, my third term, my fourth term, my fifth term, and my 6th term. So that is a 6-term expression, or the number of terms it has is 6, and it has 6 different coefficients depending on the term I asked for. So if I wanted to know the coefficient of the first term, so the coefficient of the, actually I want to change that to the 4th term. You got to make sure that you count out 1, 2, because you're doing it from left to right. First term, second term, third term, fourth term. This is the 4th term. Its coefficient would be a positive 3. A positive 3. If I asked for the coefficient of the let's say the 5th term, coefficient, then I'd have to go to the 5th term, look at the number in front of the variables. That z squared has nothing to do with the exponents, by the way, the coefficient. And in front of the z squared is a negative 88. Remember, always include the sign. So the coefficient of the fifth term would be a negative 88. So if you have questions, please be sure to ask me in class.